This Thursday, November 21st, NBA Betting Picks edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is a new social sports book available in 45 states. Download the Rebet app and use code SGPN for a 100% deposit match of up to $100. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. NBA Thursday on the horizon here. Short schedule here on the NBA card for Thursday. Only 4 games on the docket, but of course, we'll go through every single one of those games for you guys. But joining me here to help me break everything down happening for the Thursday card on the hardwood, you guys know him as the villain himself, the superstar of the show, Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Oh, great. Great. I'm sorry. Hold on, Munaf. We got to handle some business here for me and Scott, because it was a beauty, and I mean an actual beauty of a day. And where are my drops? Where are my drops? People are moving the drops around. People are stealing the drops. Where's the
Which one are you looking for?
Did they get rid of the sweep drop? Is the sweep drop gone?
Wait.
How about if you sweep it out?
No.
Edit.
You're hey, Munaf is out here sabotaging. Scott, where are you at? Munaf is sabotaging, trying to give us the wrong drop. Wow, we don't have the positive sweep drop up here. We're gonna have to fix that. Oh man, it was amazing. We hit everything. Everything we bet, we hit. Scott had the lock on the Blazers plus 12. Shout out to Scott for not listening to me with the bounce back game for the Thunder. He hit his lock. He hit Knicks wire to wire at 2-1. I hit my lock as well. Cavs laying 14.5. Never in doubt at all, ever. Cavs absolutely destroyed. Pelicans are not a real basketball team. And Cat 45 plus PRA plus 165. He had a great game. And then we hit our underdog lineup as well. Giannis points and rebounds higher. Cat points, rebounds, and assists higher. Trae Young assists higher. It was a great day. It was a great day. Complete sweep on the board for us and Scott yesterday.
There we go. Look, I think we're finally hitting our stride as far as lock and dog picks go. I'll get to underdog when we get to the underdog part of the episode here, because I'll leave it at that, just because we've been really, really good with our underdog fantasy entries in totality between myself, you, Scott, and Lonte as well. But yeah, I mean, look, you guys crushed it yesterday. Hopefully that's something we can build off of. It was a pretty fun card last night as well on the NBA schedule there. But I mean, you mentioned it. Really good night of hoops. Really good night of your picks as well. But anything else or anything that stood out from you outside of the picks from last night you want to get off your chest, Terrell?
No. I mean, a lot of things that, well, at least the things we bet on went our way. Maybe the things we didn't bet on didn't go our way. But shout out to the Houston Rockets, cashing lane 6 for me as well. That was very good. Philadelphia 76ers are still an unserious basketball team, and the Atlanta Hawks are actually not a basketball team. They're something much worse. So very much appreciative to the Atlanta Hawks as well.
Yeah, we got more injury news for the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't know if they're just like a curse on the city or the team or whatever the case might be, Terrell, but Paul George leaves the game last night. He hyperextended the same knee that kept him out early part of the season. As soon as they get Tyrese Maxey back, now another superstar, or star, I should say, goes down for the Philadelphia 76ers. What is it?
This is Brooklyn all over again. This is
it
Brooklyn
feels like it, right?
Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden all over again. This isn't going to be good. We might have drastically underestimated how bad the Philadelphia 76ers can be over the course of the entire year. Like the entire year, they could be really, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, what they're now 2-12, 2-13 straight up now. 3-11 against the spread. They did get Maxi back. I mean, but we'll see, man. It's just at some point you'll start feeling bad for them. Uh, but it's just like the injuries
The
have
Toronto
just
Raptors have 3
onto this
wins.
team.
The
That's the
Utah
crazy thing.
Jazz have 3 wins.
3 wins, yeah. The Wizards have what, 2 wins?
Oh, I don't even know. I'm surprised the Wizards won a game. Oh yeah, because they won the 2 games against the Hawks. They might have 3 too. Nah, they only got 2.
Yeah, they
The
got
Wizards
2.
still only games that they've won this season are the 2 games against the Hawks.
That's funny. All right, before we continue the conversation here, let me quickly tell everyone about the SGPN app. Hey, if you're missing out, if you haven't already, download the SGPN app, because the SGPN app gives you access to all the podcasts on the network, including this one and the picks page, all in one convenient app. And plus, like all of our content across the network, the app is completely free. So type in SGPN in your App Store or Google Play Store and make sure you guys download it today. Again, completely free. Just type in SGPN. And you'll see the logo there pop up. And do us a favor, just download the app there. All right, Terrell, anything else from last night before we get into the card here for today?
No, let's go.
All right, let's do it here. We'll start here with the first game on the board. We've got the Detroit Pistons. They are in Charlotte to take on the Hornets. Pistons currently laying 1.5 points in this game with a total of 221. Injury report. Let's start here with the road team in the Detroit Pistons. Pretty clean injury report. Asura Thompson still working his way back from the injury. And for the Charlotte Hornets, their big men continue to be out, Mark Williams and Nick Richards. And then you have probable tags on Miles Bridges and Trey Mann. These two teams just matched up, I want to say 2 weeks ago. The victory at home for the Charlotte Hornets, 108-107. Now right back at it here on Thursday night. Terrell, Pistons laying a 1.5. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, we got a Detroit Pistons team and Charlotte Hornets team that both actually kind of started the season out pretty all right defensively, but now completely in the past 5 games kind of fell back closer to the medium of the league, a little bit lower in the league. Charlotte hasn't been all too impressive defensively. They still have a huge issue with turning the ball over, and that's what makes it really hard for me to take them in this spot. The fact that they do constantly turn the ball over, and the Pistons are playing pretty clean basketball, especially with the turnovers. This is going to be a slower pace game, but I think that right now both of these two teams are declining defensively, so it makes me look first thing first to the over 221.5 here. I think that we can see a little bit more points scored in this game. I think that the Charlotte Hornets and the Detroit Pistons have given us some battles. I think Detroit is probably my play on the money line here because of how that last game turned out, because Detroit is not foreign to playing close games literally all season. And I think this is a spot on the road they kind of get up for, like the last game where they say, hey, we almost had that one. We play a little bit better defensively. We play cleaner basketball. I think that Jalen Duren being in the lineup this game, because you remember in that last game, he went out very beginning of the game. I think that was an ankle injury. I think that him playing a full assortment of minutes in this one is going to be the X factor in terms of him being able to streak to the basket, get some easy looks around the rim, service some rim protection, and also just clean up on the boards and limit possessions for the Hornets while also giving the Pistons extra possessions on the offensive glass. So I like the Pistons here. I think the Pistons can get it done. I've been backing this Pistons team multiple times over the course of this season. It's been going pretty all right. So I like Pistons on the road, get it done here, but the over is probably my better play.
Pistons season-long defensive rating is top 10 over the last 5 games. Slightly dropped down to number 12, but again, better than what we've seen from this Pistons team. And you're 100% correct about the Jalen Duren angle. He only played 8 minutes in that matchup earlier this season. Did have 3 rebounds in that game, but he's coming off of what? Was it 22 rebound game earlier this week on his birthday? 15 points, 22 rebounds against the Chicago Bulls. And I just, like you mentioned, right? I like the way this Pistons team is playing. I think JB Bickerstaff has done a great job with the rotations, with putting guys in the right spots. Cade Cunningham having a phenomenal season. I think somebody in the Thomas mentioned that he's going to play his rebounds and assists to go over in this game. Couldn't talk you off of that. It's almost like he's dropping a triple-double almost every single night. Terrell, the only pushback I'll have about the total on the over is that Pistons road games this season are 7-1 towards the under in those spots. And then also Hornets at home this season, I believe, have been a profitable angle
Yeah,
towards
2-5.
towards the under there as well. So um I may look at this one early on the under in the first half. I think defensively, the Pistons have been really good in the first half, and they just let up a little bit in that second half there. But first half under would be the look for me, but I do like the Pistons side for sure here, minus the 1.5. Just looking for that quote unquote immediate revenge after they did drop that game earlier this season against this Charlotte Hornets team. What are your thoughts on LaMelo Ball being benched in the last game in the clutch minutes?
As somebody that was backing Charlotte 1-10 in that game, wasn't happy about it at all. I don't care what a player has done in the first 3 quarters. If they're clutching the fourth, they're clutching the fourth. I mean, look at what's going on in Portland. Freaking Chauncey Billups is not playing Banton at all in the first 3 quarters of the game. There was a point in time where he was like, yeah, nah, I'm just going to bring you in the fourth quarter. And then Banton's going off in the fourth quarter. So, like, it doesn't fucking matter what the player was doing in the first 3 quarters. They're clutch. And right now he's 5th in the league in clutch points per game and a legit candidate for clutch player of the year. But you're taking that opportunity from him by not playing enough minutes in the fourth. So I don't like it. And if he's going to continue to do that, then it's going to be bad fortunes for Charlotte for sure.
All right. Let's move it along to the next game on the schedule. We'll go over to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are in Toronto to take on the Raptors in this game. Currently, as it stands, the Minnesota Timberwolves are a 7.5-point road favorite with a total of 225.5. Injury report. Let's start here with Minnesota. Questionable tags on Mike Conley and Dante DiVincenzo. For the Toronto Raptors, Scotty Barnes is officially questionable for this game. He got upgraded last night. Bruce Brown, Bruno Fernando, Kelly Olynyk, Emmanuel Quickly continue to be out for this team. So possibly we do see the return of Scotty Barnes, who was dealing with that eye injury for the Raptors there. But right now, Wolves a 7.5-point road favorite here. Terrell, what are you thinking about this matchup?
Oh, man. I really want to back the Wolves. I really do want to back the Wolves. I think that the Raptors aren't good. I think that they're very, very unserious in terms of winning basketball games. But nonetheless, they keep covering the spread, man.
Yeah. 5-2 at home.
Oh, my gosh. Like, they continue to cover the spread. And this Minnesota team is just untrustworthy. I understand they have a couple of wins. They have a win against the Kings, but I think the Kings were missing bodies that game as well. We know Kevin Durant didn't play in that Suns game, so they didn't even cover the Suns game still. Like, they just haven't looked good, and I don't feel good laying this amount of points with them, especially with the fact that this Minnesota team is only really good when they're playing a high level of defense because yes, Ant is good and Ant can score the basketball. And I think that they have now added some extra pieces that can help scoring. Julius Randle, sometimes Dante DiVincenzo, but it just hasn't been put together consistently. They haven't been good scoring the basketball. And so if you're not playing lights out defensively, you're not covering these numbers, and they're not. And then you're going to Toronto where they absolutely get up and put the ball in the basket at home. So I can't lay these points with Minnesota. Give me Toronto plus the points. That sounds disgusting, but I don't trust Minnesota. I only trust Anthony Edwards, and that makes this easier.
Yeah, I like the Raptors. I've been betting on the Raptors quite frequently over the last couple of games, and they have been really, really good at home, like I mentioned, across the ATS spot. So yeah, I like the Raptors plus 7.5, possibly get Scotty Barnes back. RJ Barrett shockingly has been really, really good for this Raptors team since he's came back. Jakob Poeltl there as well has been pretty good for this team as well. And I think for the Wolves, okay, we know that Anthony Edwards is going to get his, but it's just the inconsistency of who that next guy is going to be. Like we've seen flashes from Julius Randle, had that game winner the other night against, I believe it was the Suns in that game, but I don't know. It's just until I see some consistent play next to Anthony Edwards, I just think that they shouldn't be laying this big of a number, no matter how bad straight up that the Raptors have been. But I do like them ATS. I think they cover this number at home.
I mean, look at their
Um,
last 5 games. Last 5 games, they did not cover as a 7.5 point dog, 1-3.
yeah,
They did cover as a 1.5 point favorite. I mean, I'm sorry, a 7.5 point favorite. They didn't cover as a 7.5 point favorite. They did cover as a 1.5 point favorite. They won by 4. Didn't cover as a 10 point favorite, lost outright. Didn't cover as a 9 point favorite, lost outright. Didn't cover as a 7.5 point favorite to Miami without Jimmy Butler and lost outright.
yeah.
This team is, you can't trust this team.
Yeah, 100%. One thing that did stick out to me, Terrell, on the total, the Timberwolves have been very, very profitable towards the over in non-conference road games. I'll quickly just read out these numbers. So since the 2018 season, they're at 65.9%. If we want to take that down to over the last 2 seasons since 2022, 20 and 10 towards the over, that's 66.7%. And as I mentioned, for the Raptors, who have been a very, very good at home, not only ATS, but the over in their home games thus far this season, 6-1 towards the over, averaging 228 points in that span there. So I'll be on the over here tonight. I know the Raptors have been playing at a faster pace as well. They have guys that can knock down the 3-point shot. I think Minnesota will be able to do enough to help with the scoring here tonight, but I do like the over 225.5 in this game. You have anything for the total?
Yeah, I like the over. I don't know why it's dropping. I have
Yeah.
no idea why it's dropping, but I feel good about the over for everything you said. I'm fading both of these two teams defensively right now.
All right. Anything else for this game?
Maybe if I just play, I guess Minnesota team total over 116.5. If I had to, there's a possibility that Toronto could fall into their deep, disgusting ways and not score. But nonetheless, I think Toronto scores. Yeah, just give me the full game over.
All right. All right. Before we continue the conversation here for the remaining games on the schedule here, let me tell everyone about mybookie.ag. Hey, look, if you've been around long enough, you guys know that we started out with mybookie.ag here at the SGPN network. And now we're back. Check out the new and improved website. Great on mobile, plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. They even have new early cash out options available on mybookie.ag. So head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match of up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip they throw in for you as well. Again, that's mybookie.ag. But again, make sure you guys use that promo code SGPN. And Ross, we're brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is a brand new social sports book available in 45 different states. A huge market of betting opportunities are available on Rebet. It's easy to use and great for people in states like myself, where traditional sports book may be restricted. So all you got to do is download Rebet in the App Store and use the promo code SGPN, and they'll give you a 100% deposit match of up to $100. Again, go to the App Store, download Rebet. That's Rebet, promo code SGPN.
Munaf.
Yes, sir.
The foreigners in the chat
Uh-huh.
are very up in arms that Grady Dick's birthday was yesterday. He just turned 21, and they are understanding that there's a legal age limit in the US.
Correct.
I just want you to know that doesn't apply to NBA players. If you're an NBA player, they don't care how old you are. You're getting in and you're getting whatever you want. It doesn't matter. So the age limit does apply to like the commoners and
Yeah.
the free folk out there. But for the NBA players, the 1%ers, nah, they don't care. Very, very funny that the foreigners in the chat are now flaming the US because they have some kind of 21 and up clause in drinking.
I highly doubt. Yeah, I agree 100% agree with you that yeah, the NBA players definitely there's no age restriction for them. So I don't think that Grady Dick will be hungover in this game. But we shall see. But Happy belated birthday, Grady Dick, because I know he listens to the podcast here on the NBA Gambling Podcast. All right, let's keep it rolling here, Terrell. Next game on the board, we've got the Utah Jazz. They are in San Antonio to take on the Spurs. Spurs are laying 2.5 points in this game with a total of 224. Injury report start here with the Jazz. Guys that are officially out will be Taylor Hendricks. Walker Kessler is out for this game as well. And we have a questionable tag on Jordan Clarkson, and Colin Sexton is available. For the San Antonio Spurs, the same guys that were out in that last game against the Thunder are going to be out for this game. Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, Victor Wembanyama, and then Zach Collins is officially questionable here tonight as well. So, same situation as they were against the Thunder, maybe minus Zach Collins in this game as well. But nonetheless, Spurs are a 2.5 point favorite in this game, total of 224. Terrell, what are you thinking, man?
I don't know. Utah's been kind of scrappy on the road. I mean, is the San Antonio Spurs closer to the OKC game, or are they closer to the Dallas game without Wemby? Like, what's the cutoff here?
I think they're closer to what they were in the Thunder game, because I've actually been really, really impressed with this team of how well they've been playing defense, even without Wemby.
Yeah, the defensive intensity. And I guess that's really it. I think that's the only way that I'd probably play this is some way on the total. Give me either a Spurs team total over or a Utah team total under. Utah's been pretty bad, but I'm not prepared to jump all the way in on the Spurs train. I'm really not. I've seen them play some pretty bad stinker games here. And I guess, yeah, Wemby, they played a really good game against OKC. OKC played down the competition. They ended up getting the win outright. Very, very good performance. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't trust either one of these teams. I wouldn't place a bet on either one of them, to be honest. Both of them stink in my eyes, but they've been pretty good in these spots. I think that's the only way that I would really play this. But if I had to pick a side, give me the Spurs laying the 2.5. But I promise you, I don't like it. I could see this being a spot where they got up for the number one team in the West, and then they play down to one of the worst teams in the West.
Yeah, I mean, like, just going off of what you're saying, that it feels like it could be a flat spot here for the San Antonio Spurs, because that last game, right, you mentioned against the best team in the Western Conference, it was a nationally televised game. Keldon Johnson was absolutely going off of that first half.
Yeah, man.
Chris Paul looked like he turned back the clock of time, looking like he was again 21 years old, knocking down some crazy clutch 3-point shots. So, yeah, it would be the Spurs side for me, just because they are playing here at home. They didn't have to travel since that game on Tuesday. Jazz just, again, missing that front court depth. I think it's what's really been the tip and scale here for me. And I know Wemby's not playing in this game, and if Zach Collins not able to go, I know Casey's mentioning that Bassey looked pretty good coming off of the bench for that San Antonio Spurs team. But I still feel like they have guys that can fill up the basket, right? I mean, Chris Paul's been playing well. Julian Champagnie has been playing well this game. If Keldon Johnson can find some consistency, I think they'll be okay on the offensive side there. But I think with CP3 out there, I think that he can really lead them to a victory here. So,
but who's guarding Markkanen and Collins? Because those are two that can give you 20 easy. Markkanen can give you 30.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, I get all the, like, they're very good defensively, but if at this point Collins is out too, if you don't have the bodies, you don't have the bodies. Who's going to be able to stay in front of Markkanen the entire game? Maybe Collins, I'll give you. I actually don't kind of like him as much, but Markkanen is a hooper.
Yeah.
I feel like both of them could cook.
I don't know. Barnes is all right defensively, but can he stay in front of him is going to be the question. But I mean, after that,
stick with the handicap, but that's concerns of why I'm not just going ahead, because I really, really, really want to just go ahead and get down with everybody on Spurs because Utah's been so horrible. But something in my gut just tells me don't take the Spurs today. I'll make the pick, but I'm not betting this.
Laurie has also been he's really been up and down. He's only averaging 18 points per game on the season.
Yeah, but if you let him just stop and pop from mid range, and you're not, you know, equipped to even get a hand anywhere close to his face, he's gonna score all day. Like we've seen Laurie just have big games out of nowhere.
I think if you want to back Laurie, you probably want to look at his 3-point prop. He is shooting a really good percentage from three, 44.4% in the month of November, 44.6 season long. And it seems like almost half of his shots are coming. In fact, more than half of his shots are coming from beyond the arc. And he's made at least three threes in 3 straight games. I'm trying to see how he's done against the Spurs if you want to back Laurie in this game. But it's a good point that you do bring up about
Well,
who's going
just
to be.
devil's advocate. If you like the Jazz, that's what you're hoping on. You're hoping that the
Yeah.
front court for the Jazz can give you really, really good minutes. And that's kind of, how you play it. You probably take one of Laurie or Collins' points and play it with Jazz money line. But I can't get there on either one of these teams. Give a play on the total is a lot better for me.
What'd you like for the total? You like the under?
Not give me. I like okay. I mean, OKC's been scoring the basketball pretty well. I think OKC's been pretty solid. I'll take a OKC 113.5 over. Yeah.
Jazz, you
I'm
mean?
fading. I'm fading Jazz defensively. They're
Okay.
horrible. Yeah, I'm fading the Jazz defensively.
All right. So Spurs team total over. Yeah, I couldn't talk you off of that one. Yeah, totals up like it's on the move up. Now it's up to 224.5 for this game. So yeah, I think Spurs, even without Wemby, even with their top 3 guys, like they were pretty good offensively. Like Chris Paul out there, I think makes a huge difference for this offense. And the Jazz, I think defensively just have not been. Just trying to find their numbers over the last. Yeah, they have the 4th worst defensive rating to the Utah Jazz over the last 5 games. 123.0. That's down there with the Suns, the Bulls, and the Brooklyn Nets. So yeah, give me Spurs team total over, I think would be a great look in this game. All right. Last game of the night. Orlando Magic. They are taking on the Lakers in Tinseltown. Lakers are a 5-point favorite in this game, or now down to 4.5. Seems like some money coming in on the Magic here. Total is at 216 in this game. Injury report: Magic did play last night against the Clippers, so not much of a travel situation, or if anything, just moving from arena to arena. And then for the Lakers, Anthony Davis is probable here tonight. Rui Hachimura is questionable. I love how they have Bronny James on the injury report as doubtful, but the usual suspects continue to be out. Jackson Hayes, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Jared Vanderbilt, and Christian Wood
I mean, he
all
is in
out.
the area.
Yeah, all right.
He
Fair
doesn't
enough.
travel for the G League game, so it's
That's
not like
true.
he's anywhere else. Like he's there. So I mean, he's in the area. He probably might be at the game.
That's true. Um, yeah, Lakers 4.5 is a number right now. Terrell, what are you thinking about this game against the Magic?
Yeah, super easy here. I don't know why I got away from it last game, and that's what happens when you step away from the system. But yeah, the Magic just aren't good on the road, man. The loss to the Clippers yesterday just kind of put it like they defense made travels, but they're not getting figuring these games out on the road. 2-7 ATS on the road this season, 2-7 straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers been really, really good at home. 5-2 ATS at home, 7-0 straight up at home. They've been absolute just continuing to win games. They despite their defensive woes, they continue to just kind of figure out ways to get it done. And the way that you fade the Lakers is when they start giving them a bunch of points. They gave them 10.5 against Utah. They didn't cover that. Gave them 8 against New Orleans. That was on the road, but they still didn't cover that. You remember the Memphis game where they were laying 7.5 and they weren't able to cover that. Like the only one that they were able to cover was the 10 against the Raptors, and we know how this Raptors team is. Like it's Braun versus the Raptors. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is a good spot where you just take the Lakers laying a short number, probably laying a short number because they are not as good defensively, and the Orlando Magic are good defensively. But I'm fading this Magic team on a back to back. I'm fading them on the road. They haven't been playing good on the road all season, and yeah, Orlando's just a team to take it home. I'm really good just backing the trends with both of these teams and how they both play better at home than they do on the road.
So dating back to last season for this Magic team as an away underdog, 10-27 straight up, 17, 19, and 1 ATS.
Jesus Christ.
10-27 straight up. But this season, it's even well, 6-game sample again, 1-5 straight up, 1-5 ATS. So
it
if
was
you think like
the Suns without Kevin Durant. That was the one.
Yeah.
The Suns without Kevin Durant.
Yeah. But now you have again this Lakers team, like Terrell, you mentioned that they've been really good at home thus far this season. They've been able to put up a lot of points at home as well. Just trying to pull up the numbers for the Lakers here at home. 7-0, yeah, you mentioned it. 7-0 straight up, 5-2 ATS, averaging around 122 points per game, outscoring their opponents by +9 as well. So, yeah, I think the Lakers are the look here for me as well. What I want to see when their next game is, because it was yesterday. I think you guys talked about it that the Suns don't have a game until Tuesday of next week. I don't see it, but yeah, it's just again, it's both these teams, like you mentioned. It's Magic. You back them at home. If the Lakers were on the road, you fade the Lakers on the road, you back the Lakers at home, and then you fade the Magic on the road. So I think that's pretty much a simple recipe here. So yeah, Lakers, I think Anthony Davis has a big game in this game. They really don't have anybody in that front court without Paolo. I know they got Wendell Carter Jr. back, but it seems like he's still on a kind of a minutes limit for the Orlando Magic. But Anthony Davis has just been playing outstanding basketball on both sides of the offense and defense. And again, a lot of people mentioning in the chat that it's really just Franz Wagner that's really the consistent offensive guy for this Orlando Magic team. So, yeah, Lakers -4.5 for me here as well. Total, you say like Lakers team total over or full game? Anything, Terrell?
I mean, I could see Orlando uglying up the game and still not covering. But I think that the points are going to be scored in this one. Not a good feel. But give me the over. I see the line moving down, but the Lakers have just been so efficient at home, and their defense is bad enough to let anybody get off, even Orlando.
Fair enough. All right, anything else for Magic Lakers?
No, I'm good.
All right, so that is the fourth and final game on this Thursday card. Before we get into our lock and dog and then put together our Underdog Fantasy entry, let me tell everyone about our good old friends over at Rhythm. Hey, look, Rhythm is a proud partner of SGPN, and it's also the #1 AI-powered back sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money line spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build a model for you. And now you can track props and you can track props in the Rhythm app as well, whether it's NFL picks, whether it is NFL props, college football, college basketball that's underway, and of course the NBA as well. Rhythm really honestly has it all. It's just been so much fun to use. And looking at their best props for tonight, they do like Brandon Miller under 17.5 points here tonight in that Pistons and Hornets game. Rhythm is predicting that Brandon Miller finishes with 12 points in that game against the Detroit Pistons. So claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
They're asking in the chat, so I did it while you was doing the read. Orlando is #1 in points in the paint defense over the past 5 games, tied with Oklahoma City Thunder. Believe it or not.
Damn, that is kind of shocking.
Okay, see, no big #1 in opponents' points in the paint defense.
They did get a Hartenstein back last night, and then just like
yeah.
in like
what about
casual...
the 4 games? What about the 4 games before that?
Yeah. I know that they announced I mean, this is all hearsay now, but when Hartenstein, they announced him coming back, and I was looking for his rebounding prop. They just didn't get it posted in time, but he played 29 minutes last night. Terrell had 14 rebounds, so I think that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. Maybe even for Underdog Fantasy entry purposes.
Hey, how many assists did he have? Because did you see the behind the back passes he was trying to make?
He had 13 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 assists last night for the OKC Thunder.
He did like back to back behind the back passes. It's fucking hilarious.
All right, 2 orders of business left. Let's get into our lock and dog, and then, like I mentioned, we'll put together our underdog fantasy entry here for tonight. You want to lead us off, Terrell?
Okay. Let's see here. For my lock. Yeah, give me the Spurs team total over.
All right.
I do like the Spurs. Slightly concerned about Utah having a scoring happy day to take the spread, but I'll take the team total over 113.5. They've been a lot better scoring the basketball. I think somebody said in the chat, and I do agree. They've been playing a lot more free without Wemby, and there's still a questionable tag on Devin Vassell here. Like, there's a chance, Munaf. There's a chance. So I'm not gonna let us sit here and say Devin Vassell is not 100% playing in this game. And if he plays, well, he's liable to go for 30. So yeah, what?
I'm going to send Terrell a Devin Vassell jersey for Christmas. I think that's going to be the plan.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know, something like that. I mean, some merch or something. A graphic tee would be dope. Like, but yeah, shout out my guy Devin Vassell. So I'm gonna go ahead and fade the Utah Jazz defensively yet again. And I think that they're going to go ahead and let the Spurs score in this one. So give me Spurs team total over 113.5. I do already have a play on the Minnesota and Toronto over, so that's why I didn't throw that one out there. Munaf. I already gave that out on another show. Didn't need.
Well, that's because I was going to lock that up here on this show.
Oh, figures. All right, it's cool. Dog. Lakers 1-10.
All right.
They are not good enough defensively to blow this team out the water. I feel like Orlando is going to randomly be able to score because the Lakers will fold defensively. But nonetheless, they don't care about winning by that margin against anybody. They're fine just letting them back in the game. That's literally what they happened with the Utah Jazz. They just let them right back in the game. Going back to it, Lakers 1-10 plus 180.
All right. All right, for my lock, just tip the hand there. Give me the over in the Raptors and the Wolves game. I mean, we talked about not only the trends, but Toronto at home, 6-1 towards the over. They have shooters on that team, man. Ochai Abachi, RJ Barrett's even been knocking down 3-point shots. Grady Dick. They get possibly Scotty Barnes back here tonight. Jakob Poeltl inside the paint has been actually pretty good for this team as well. And on the other side, Minnesota, right? Anthony Edwards. But I do think they have guys that can also fill up the basket. I do also feel like this will be a higher pace game between these two teams. So I'll take the over 225.5 is the number right now. For my dog, I think it's going to be like a Jalen Duren rebounding ladder here, Terrell. So we'll start with 12 plus and work our way up from there. So 12 plus right now, it is a baby dog at plus 110. But if you want to take this up to 15 plus, it's plus 340 for him. He's coming off a game that he had 22 rebounds. But you also take a look at some of the centers that they've recently played over the last 5 games have the Hornets. My guy Şengün down here had 18 rebounds. Jakob Poeltl, we just talked about, had 16. Jared Allen had 15. Bam got 11. Evan Mobley got 11 as well. So between Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, those two guys had 26 rebounds against the Charlotte Hornets front court there. So I think Jalen Duren could have another big rebounding game here tonight. So ladder that up. We'll start there 12 plus 110 and work our way up to 15 plus at plus 340 as my dog here for tonight. All right, Underdog Fantasy entry. And I'll mention this, Terrell. Ever since we started the pod this season for the NBA season, of course, we've hit at least one underdog entry every single week. So if you were just blindly tailing our Underdog Fantasy entries, you're up some good units right now with your Underdog Fantasy entry. I know we also had a streak where I think we had like 3-4 shows in a row with our Underdog Fantasy entries, and they, like you guys, hit one last night as well. So If you haven't already joined us, I don't know what you're waiting for. Just make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Come join us. Use our promo code. It helps the show out, helps us look good in front of the bosses as well. And also, you're going to be making money with us along the way. So, who doesn't want that? All right, Terrell, where do we want to start here for tonight? Let's try to make it 2 nights in a row with our Underdog Fantasy entry. Anyone catching your eye?
Well, I feel like Duran is a good place to start.
All right, you want to take the rebounds or you want to go points and rebounds?
We could do both. I'm fine with that.
Points rebounds is at 23.5, but if you want to go 11.5 rebounds higher, it's a little bit spicy at 1.05x.
Oh yeah, let's take the spice.
All right.
I'm fine with that. 11.5 rebounds. I think you
right.
can cash the baby part of your ladder.
Yeah.
All right.
Anybody from the Spurs side you like?
Let's see. I mean, what's Chris Paul doing assists recently?
I know he had a double-double on that game against the Thunder the other night. His number's at 8.5 right now, but it's
a little. It's not as. It's not all the way there.
Yeah, we could take it up to 9.5 and get 1.15 higher spicy if we think.
Do we just go? 10. Do we just go on the heater and say Chris Paul just go ahead and gets the 10 assists? I mean, they're so lucky they don't have the sell props. I mean, fantasy projections.
I think CP3 we take it up to 9.5, get some spicy with it.
I'm fine with that.
He's had 11 assists, Terrell, in 4 of the last 5 games.
I'm fine with that.
The only game he did was against the Dallas Mavericks. He only had 3.
All right, CP, Duran. How do we close this out?
Do we want to go Cade? Do we want to go?
Oh, Cade is a good one. Cade is a good one. But we already got Duran. But we could still go Cade. Maybe Cade points and assists.
Points and assists are 32.5.
What did he do in that game earlier against?
I want to say he had a triple-double, but let me double check. Cade in that game earlier this season against the Hornets had 20, 10, and 10.
Okay.
But then he fell short of that 32.5 though on the points and assists then.
Oh, is that what it was at?
Yeah, he had 20, 10, and 10. So we could go PRA or we can go.
Yeah, let's go PRA.
All right. PRA will do.
Duran's not going to get every rebound. Can't get enough.
Could be.
And I do like the triple-double look as well.
Do they have?
We could go half a double-double is kind of not priced right. Never mind. Yeah, let's go with the PRA.
All right, sounds good. All right, so that's our entry here for tonight. It's a good one. So we'll go Jalen Duran higher, 11.5 rebounds. We got Chris Paul higher, 9.5 assists, and then we'll go Cade PRA higher, 39.5. That gets you a nice 7.2x.
That was a crazy pause. What the world?
7.2x on the entry, $72.40 for every $10 that you guys put in for that entry. Again, really, really good on the Underdog Fantasy entries. We've been cashing them, so hopefully we can make it 2 nights in a row. And I think the heater for all of us is coming on our locks and dogs also for the slate here tonight. All right, and that is going to do it here for this edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Terrell, anything else you want to mention before we get out of here?
No, that's it. Let's go.
All right, make sure you guys follow Terrell over on Twitter and on Instagram. That's at reallyRel__. You can follow me there as well at SportsNerd824. More importantly, make sure you guys subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast YouTube channel and on the audio format as well, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's on Apple. Truly would greatly appreciate it if you guys could do that. And also leave us a rating and review. Definitely would appreciate that as well. I know you guys have been active in the comment section after the show as well. If you watch the playback, do us a favor, leave us a rating and review on Spotify and or on Apple. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place for the episode for the Friday game, so look out for us then. Till then, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off, and always remember to let it ride.
That was a crazy pause.